Mike's levels, stage mic levels. Press mic. Everybody okay?
starts with the opening statement before we move on to questions.
Outstanding game, outstanding atmosphere in a road game for us. I thought the opportunity to play this series is a tremendous opportunity for both programs. Obviously, we want the outcome to be a little bit different, but there's no doubt in my mind that when it comes down to Kansas versus Missouri, Missouri versus Kansas, no matter where it's at, it brings an outstanding amount of fandom, support from all over, no matter what both universities, both fan bases, but ultimately it gives a tough opportunity to play a great game that both teams will continue to learn from. I thought this game was a game of runs. I thought it changed when there was a double tech instead of a flagrant that was called in that first half. Defensively, we did a tremendous job following our scouting report, but that was a point I thought the game changed, and they went on to I believe, a 20-plus to probably 8-point run or 5 run going into from that end of the first to the second half. It was great to see Mark Mitchell get to the foul line. He's one of the top players in the country at drawing fouls. I thought the opportunities to see him get to the free throw line in the first half was replaced by travels. I hadn't seen travels nor 3 seconds in a long time. I hadn't. But those were some great opportunities. Out of our 5 turnovers, 3 of them was travels in that first half that I thought our guys fought through and still played good basketball. But those are opportunities that I think we continue to either get to the foul line with, or in addition to that, we're able to get certain stops on the other end, and we didn't during those runs. Questions?
For Coach and Mark, for both of you, what do you feel like was missing from the offense today? What was
Free throw shooting. I think at the end of the day, battle fouls and non-battle fouls are different. You can say Mark Mitchell ended up with double-digit free throws, but in actuality, he didn't. The question is, did he end up with those fouls when the battles was taking place, and he did not. So he got to do a better job. I got to do a better job at putting him in better situations where those fouls are called, but more importantly, it's not travels. It's not travels, and I think that took away from a little bit of our aggression. It was great to see Luke Northweather and Jacob Cruz knock down jump shots. I think in that second half or that first half, we got the same looks. We just didn't capitalize on those makes that I thought we should have. We were able to get a positive or even a parallel assist-to-turnover ratio in that first half. 5 assists, 5 turnovers, but again, 3 of those were travels for some reason. So.
Dennis, beyond Jacob Cruz right now, do you have the perimeter shooting that you would like to have to play yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. We just got to knock down the shots. At the end of the day, our guys do a good job. Javon Porter had 3 open looks, I thought, from behind, or 2 open looks. Three of his 4 were open looks. 1 at the top of the key, 1 to start the game, and then an additional one. We can't go 1 for 4 in those situations. Again, it was great to see those guys knock down shots toward the end, but ultimately those are those shots when I think of our execution that was missing from that 25. So free throws and those open looks, and I'll go back and count them. We generated the shots. We just didn't knock them down, and it didn't go our way.
Dennis, after that run in the middle there that you said kind of the turning point,
Yeah.
what were some adjustments you tried to make there, and how do you think that played out?
Well, we just had to regroup. Being on the road here in KC, obviously the numbers speak for that. I don't know how many fans showed up, but it was probably 90% Kansas, 10% us. It's a road game, and we got to be able to withstand the runs. We got to get through those moments, and ultimately, I'm proud that it was only 10 turnovers. But what type of turnovers were they? They were not decision-making turnovers. They were violations. So when you have majority of violations as your turnovers, those are possessions that are offensively things that we can execute on. So we just got to do a better job with our ratio of violations, our ratio of settling, and getting to that free throw line early. I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of what they did. I'm proud of their fight. One game, would have loved to see it go the other way.
Mark, what did it feel like when you had that dunk to make it 23-21? Could you feel the arena kind of pick
It was an honor. It's a blessing. Me being from Kansas City. I've been here probably double digit 10, 20 times. My brother coming back for concerts, coming back for just preseason NBA games. I've been to a couple of KU games, things like that here over my time. So it's just a blessing just to play here today. And obviously to have that moment with the crowd and the momentum and everything. That's why you could just the emotion. I usually don't get that fired up, but just I could feel the flow of the game. We really needed that. So it's just an honor.
Mark, what's the matchup with Darren like, and what's your preparation like when you only play a couple games?
To be honest, we treated it like he played every game. A guy with that much talent, he's going to be a high NBA draft pick. So we treated it like he'd been playing 9, 10 games. We knew the talent he had. We knew what we were going to deal with coming in, and obviously he was pretty good and had a good day. Just trying to limit it, make it hard for him is all we can really do.
Coach, Honor got the start tonight. Kind of what went into that decision, and how do you evaluate his play?
Well, credit to Honor. He did a great job. He was one of our top 3 players before a setback. And I have to continue to listen to our doctors and listen to our trainers and allow the processes to take place. But he was tremendous this summer. He was tremendous in preseason play, and ultimately he earned the opportunity. I thought it bode well with what he brings to the table from a defensive standpoint and an offensive standpoint, and another guy who was making shots on a catch and shoot basis. So when you look at what we were able to do in that first half, being able when that score was 26-23, I believe, and that again I'll go back to Ant Robinson picking up in a double tech, which I've never seen before. A guy get hit in the face, be called a double tech, and your best player don't close out that first half. I thought we got put in a bad situation.
Mark, earlier in the season, y'all were a really good second half team coming out after halftime. These past 2 games, y'all have let the game get away from you in the middle late, and so I'm curious what you feel like has been the difference these past couple of games.
I think we just need to adjust to the other team's adjustments. I think coming out of halftime, teams make adjustments, teams find things that are working for them. And I think also just we got to close out halves better. I had layup, a bad shot at the end of the half led to that run out. In the last game, we didn't close the halves well either. So I think just closing out the first half will help us start the second half a little better.
And as you mentioned, the atmosphere. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you to make you feel like that's why you want to see this keep happening?
Well, it's awesome to see in a neutral site. Kansas had a band and we didn't. That's a home game. So what's great is hearing the other chants from the other team, their student section. It is a typical road game that allows you to see college basketball at its best. At its best, you can look at any rivalry across the country. There's only another one that's close to it, right? Illinois versus Missouri. That's how I look at it. Then there's some East Coast teams that also have rivals in basketball, whatever their names are. At the end of the day, in this Midwest, this game is supposed to continue, and it should never stop. It should never stop. We should not want an atmosphere to look another way. It is a war within homes. You got family members going from Kansas, their siblings going to Missouri. I just think ultimately it's a great rivalry, and it's a tremendous game. But the atmosphere, it speaks for itself. You hear the chants, you hear the roars. It's great to hear the silence when we go on a run, and then when they go on a run, it's just absolute pandemonium. And then the energy we generate as a team on the road, it resembles nothing but conference games, and that's what it's about.
Mark, you spent time at Bishop Miege and then made the move to Sunrise. You spent a year at Duke, but I know Missouri and Kansas, at least Coach Phelps have recruited you heavily. You were one of the top guys in your class coming out, so you know some of these guys. It's a rivalry game, but does it mean a little bit more for you just because you were recruited by Missouri, ended up Missouri, recruited by Kansas, and now you're kind of in the middle of it?
I think it means a lot just because it's just the rivalry of what it is. I'm live 30 minutes from Lawrence. I live right in Shawnee, Lenexa areas where I'm from. So it just means a lot just to be in this rivalry, just to have the Mizzou fans behind my back. Obviously, KU and Coach Self and Norm and those guys when he was there recruiting me really hard. So I know that's a good staff, some good guys over there. But I think this just means more just to be a Missouri Tiger and to go fight and just put on for the rivalry.
One last question. Mark, overall, what do you think you guys can take from these last 2 games?
Just continue to learn and grow, so we can do better. That's a good team, and obviously we were playing with them for a while. They go on spurts, go on things like that, just learning to keep our composure, and just it's little things, when 3 points, 5 points, 2 points, they add up, and now you feel like you're down by more than what really happened. So just keep going, go back to the drawing board, keep learning, and just staying together.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, MIZ.
How you guys doing?
Fire away, please.
Trey, you went, I think, for 20 and 13 today. Played really good both halves. Did Coach, and I know you played, being in Illinois, you played in this game. Did Coach talk to you guys about this rivalry beforehand, and what did it mean to you coming into this game? Were you a little bit extra juiced?
Yeah, all week, every day, practice has been more intense. The message has been more clear. And, I feel like everybody was a little more ramped up than, a normal game. And I feel like, that's why I was so scrappy tonight.
Trey, those first 10 minutes or so, they seem to get a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of loose balls. What changed there for you guys to flip that?
I kind of feel like they kind of had the upper hand on the physicality at the beginning of the game, so we just had to match that. And once we figured that out, it kind of canceled out a lot of open things and opened up the transition game for us. So we just had to take that away from them.
How key do you feel like that was to flipping the score?
I feel like that's when we're most dangerous. When we get it and we push, Melvin get downhill and we sprinting the floor, Flo, BT get a dunk, DP pushing it. I feel like that's when we're at our best.
Trey, you guys closed the first half on a strong note. You hit the buzzer beater, then come out in the second half equally strong. Just how much do you feel like that helped kind of change the momentum of the game?
It definitely did. We try not to hold our hat on like one play changing the momentum, but definitely the little things. I feel like that was the bigger thing, just that three. But like getting a stop, showing bodies on Mitchell, stuff like that. I feel like that kind of amped us up, executing stuff like that.
When Darren was out there, what kind of lift did you guys feel like he gave you, and what do you think this team kind of looks like when he's with you?
Man, you could see, even though he was limited minutes tonight, he was still super efficient. I had a bunch of wide open shots, that I normally didn't get. He just makes the game so much easier. He attracts a lot of bodies whenever he's playing, so that just makes it easier for us. So I'm glad to have him back.
When Darren went out the game there, do you think that the time you spent without playing with Darren helped you guys close out the game there?
Definitely. I feel like that's something that we've had to kind of learn to do. He's a great player. We love playing with him. He makes the game way easier. So it's great to play with him, but without him, we got to be as strong.
For both of you, how do you feel you played in terms of folding him back into it instead of just kind of standing and watching him, which maybe is easy to do too? How did you feel that went?
His mentality was just to, win the game. We all had the same mentality. He didn't force shots. He's such a great player that he makes the right reads. So it's great playing with him, and we'll get better as the games come on.
For both of you guys, Coach Self said this week that this game would have more attention on it than any of the top 25 matchups that y'all have already had. Did you feel that out there? And also, what's this win say about this team?
Definitely felt that. You know, you hear the fans roaring. You know, you hear the players chatting. You know, you could just feel the intensity in warm-ups. You know, coach did a great job all week. You know, bringing us back and telling us about the history of what this game really meant. And I feel like tonight, you know, we all kind of played with that kind of fire, for sure.
Trey, final few seconds of the first half. What's going through your mind before you take that shot?
Really, it's just routine. Mel get the rebound, sprint as fast as you can. I really wanted to sprint and get the dunk, but Mel threw it perfectly to where I could have just shot it. And so, you know, it was just routine at that point. Wasn't even thinking.
You did most of your scoring in the second half. I'm just wondering what was different for you after the break.
I just had to change my mentality. I had to be more aggressive, more physical. Lean on my teammates. They had my back. They motivated me. So, just glad we got the win.
This is the first time you guys have been holding a long time. Big rivalry win. The locker room sounded like a joyous place. What was going through you guys? I mean, is it just good to get everybody back and get a win?
For sure, yeah. We play for the name on the front of our jersey. So, this game was very important to us. We wanted to win it, and we're excited to go home and get 2 more wins.
Trace.
Trey, you're shooting 42% from 3 this year. Has anything changed with you form-wise? And do you feel like it's a need with this team to kind of give Darren some outside shooting?
I feel like nothing changed with my form. I feel like it's really just, you know, the trust that my coaches put into me and, you know, the trust of my teammates. You know, they put me in the right position, swing the ball. You know, my teammates believe me. They tell me to shoot it every day. So it's just that confidence, kind of just playing free. I feel like that's the biggest difference.
Bryson, after the North Carolina game when you hit those triples, Coach Self said it was, you know, it was great to see, but he really wanted you to buy into being big.
Right.
How much have you just kind of taken that to heart? And Trey, how much has that, you know, kind of propelled you guys?
Yeah, it's something we work on every practice, just using my size. I'm blessed to have the body that I do have, so just taking advantage of every opportunity I have to be big and get dunks because that creates momentum, and that's good for us.
Yeah, just to expand on that, I feel like BT and the whole team, I feel like we're at our best when we're, you know, creating mismatches. You know, him, he could punish a little guy and, you know, finesse a bigger guy. So I feel like everybody has little, you know, yin and yangs of both of those. So I feel like that's when we're at our best, when we, you know, exploit mismatches.
Trey, 2 first-half fouls. Coaches talked about you needing to just tighten that up a little bit. What were your thoughts when you got your second, and how have you been working on something like that?
Yeah, don't foul at all. I fouled out the last game against in Vegas, and I feel like that kind of stuck with me all week. So just trying to play more with my chest and my, you know, my feet instead of my hands. And when I got that last foul, you know, Coach said something to me about it. If I foul again, it's gonna be issues. So just try to, you know, stay on point with my chest up.
Trey, when you transferred here, did you anticipate having this type of impact? I know when we first met you, you said you were like a Swiss Army knife guy, but you're doing a lot on both ends.
Definitely. I definitely, you know, believe myself. Feel like I'm gonna always impact the game, but I didn't expect how fast and how fluid we all bond together. You know, it makes the game easier. We're all playing for each other, trying to find each other, and that came pretty fast this year.
Why have you bonded so well? Why have the guys come together so quickly? Any idea?
I feel like we just like each other. Like off the court, you know, it's deeper than basketball. We're a brotherhood, so we do everything together. So when we're on the court, it's not even like, I don't know how to explain it. It's more of like us versus them. It's not even like the team, you know. So I feel like it makes it easy to play.
All good? Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.